I'm going to take the little squishy red ball with me today because I'm going to demonstrate a couple of poses that we'll do with the ball, and we kind of use them in our standard class. So yes, this is a seated class. You can do a lot of these things standing if you so like. So, all right, so just kind of know that. If you thought it was gentle yoga for back care, that's next week. We alternate that class with this class. Okay, so welcome. So how we start our chair Tai Chi, we make a right fist. So that's the sun. Y'all got to figure out which one's your right hand, okay? And then that left palm, that's the moon. And then we bow down to one another in respect to start our chair Tai Chi class. So let's start with the breathing. So in Tai Chi, in martial arts of this type of thing, you find your belly button, so I gotta kind of dig around for that. And then they usually say your center of your dantian is 2 inches below that. But for some of the Korean martial arts that I practice, it's actually 2 finger widths here at the knuckle closest to the palm. So you have your finger in your belly button, and you do your 2 fingers, and you'll hop your belly button finger down below. So that's the center of your cauldron, your collection center, your place where you collect energy. You take the middle of your palm, place it there. And then with the other hand, goes on top. Now you relax those shoulders. And in lower belly breathing, which helps to lower your blood pressure, lessen your heart rate, also encourages cerebral spinal fluid flow, which is important to get rid of the waste that accumulates in your brain. You normally only get that when you have REM sleep at night. So lower belly breathing helps facilitate that also. So here we go. We're going to breathe in, expand the belly, and then exhale, belly button towards your spine. Again, breathe in, belly big, and exhaling. Again, breathe in, belly big, and exhale. Expand that belly. Chest expands also, by the way. Breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful. So some of the things we do in our standing Tai Chi and our seated Tai Chi class are very similar. So we do this warm-up sequence. So we're going to do what's called the Atlas Point rotation. You take your nose and you draw a circle. Now if this makes you feel dizzy, what you do is have your eyes look at the center of the room as opposed to following the circle. Some people get little vertigo challenges when they do this. Just, notice if that's for you. You might hear some crinkly stuff going on here, some snap, crackle, pops. Ooh. I hear it here on my left side, more so than on my right side. You don't have to go fast. It can be a little bit slower. And just continue to breathe in and out. Now let's pause, and now let's take it and go the other direction. So draw your circle in the other direction. Just know you can do these postures also standing. Feet about shoulder width apart, knees softly bent, arms to the side of the body or resting on your belly. Here resting on your lap. We can hear all that crinkly stuff more so in the second direction. Beautiful. One more time all the way around. Softens the muscles in that neck, and then come back to the center. Next is, what are we going to call this? This is called swimming dragons. We place the hands together. Now, alternatively, you could have the ball in between your hands, but right now we're just doing hands together. You could hook the thumbs if you like, or just have, the side of the thumbs just sitting here. I'm going to bring my feet a little more forward. We're going to breathe in, belly big, and then we push the hands one direction, turn the head the other direction as you exhale. Now from here, we're going to change it up. Inhale back to the center. From here, we're going to push it the other direction. Exhale. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale over to the other side. Range of motion, lessen neck pain. Inhale back to the center. Exhale over to the other side. One more time each side. Breathe in to the center. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale back to the center. Last time. Exhale, push it away. And then come back to the center. From here, let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then hands come down the heart center. You're bringing the energy from the heavens back down to your cauldron, back down to that dantian. From here, we're going to do spread the feathers. So when we do this standing, it looks a little different, but seated, it looks like this. You spread the hands out, like you're doing like a little starfish with the hands. You bring it out to the side, and then you take your thumb and turn it to the back of the room. Then you take your opposite ear, drop it towards your shoulder. Maybe your hand doesn't rest on your leg, but out to the side. So I'm kind of stiff on this side is what I notice. And then if you can, drop your chin a little bit more towards your shoulder. And then we're going to draw a half smile with our chin. So you bring it up to where the wall meets the ceiling, and then back down towards your chest and towards that extended arm side, and then release that. So you may have noticed kind of the tension going on in the arm, the shoulders when you did that. Other side. So again, spread out the hands, bring it out to the side. And this opens up more blood flow through the carotid and improves blood flow to the brain. So very important. Again, turn the thumb to the back of the room, drop the ear towards the shoulder, and I'm going to bring my arm out to the side here. And then, from here, drop the chin towards the shoulder, so you kind of turn that chin towards the shoulder. And then from here, lift the chin to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then we're going to draw that half circle or that smile with the chin. Bring it towards your chest, now nice and slow, and then towards that extended arm side, and then release. Very good. From here, let's spin the wrists. This loosens our wrists. This is nice for carpal tunnel. You may notice, does the left spin differently than the right? Especially if you're right hand dominated or vice versa, or reverse vice. I guess that's how it's said. And then let's pause and go the other direction. So when I go the other direction, I feel like my left hand is more stiff that second direction. Notice what you notice, okay? Woo! And this brings you a little bit more air coming across your neck too. That's what I like about the reverse direction, at least for me. Very good. And then from here, let's bring the arms out to the, you may notice a little tingling there. Yeah? Let's do some shoulder rolls. Let's alternate them. Sometimes when I do shoulder rolls, air happens, like little burps kind of appear. Just know that. That might happen to you too. And reverse, go the other way. So this is also beneficial for preventing that hump in the neck, strengthening the upper back musculature. But you know what? We'll do the dowager's hump preventive one next. So arms out to the side. And then we're going to shrug our shoulders towards our ears, squeeze the armpits, and then turn halfway to the side. Woo! It may be kind of firing up here in the upper back. And then release it down. That's my favorite part, releasing it. Come back to the center. Let's again shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Make them look like earrings, I guess. And then turn halfway over to the other side. Does this one feel a little bit more challenged than the other side? Yes or no? Who knows? And release it down. Woo! Beautiful. Shoulders up and down. This is also a method of lymphatic drainage. So just know there's several ways to do lymphatic drainage. Very good. Now I'm going to scoot my chair back a little bit. I kind of notice I'm kind of a little bit more forward in the chair, so I'm going to be bringing a foot out to the side. Hopefully I didn't pop my ball there. Okay, so I'm going to bring my foot out to the side, resting on the back of the heel. So you should feel that calf contraction or contraction energy happening with the back of the lower leg, the calf muscle. That's considered to be your second heart. And then we're going to point the toes away. May feel very similar, may feel a lot different. Depending if you're on a tile or a wood floor or carpet, this may be easy or not easy to do. So I'm on carpet, so we'll just see how it goes. We're going to point and flex. So I'm kind of digging a hole here, or a little rub pattern in my carpet. So we're doing that calf pump, which is considered, you know, you're bringing that blood flow from the lower extremities back to the heart. Your calf is considered to be your second heart. It's very important, especially if you're on long car rides and the airplanes. Be sure to do these calf pumps. Yeah, it's because we don't want to get that, what do they call them, DVTs? I know, I'm using 3-letter acronyms. Sorry. And then bring it in. All right, we're going to do the other side. So bring it out. I kind of shake, weight, wiggle it out there. Maybe bring my other leg a little wider. And then, again, toes towards me. Woo! Does this feel a little different? Now, if it's spicy in the back of the knee, bend that knee just a little bit, but really you're still toes towards you and flexing that heel away. Again, you don't have to have a super straight leg. You can have, again, a little bend in the knee. I just kind of pulled up my pant to do that. And then let's point the toes away. Oh, my foot just popped. Of course it did, right? And then let's get that action going on. So here we go. Pump that calf. Again, this is so much easier to do on tile or, you know, a smooth surface than the carpet. Let me just put it out there. I love it. Couple more. And bring it in. Very good. Next, let's do wild goose flutter. So we're going to be taking the arms out to the side and just shake them up and down. This kind of brings a little bit of energy along the wrists, the arms, into the fingers. Plus, if you have bracelets on, it makes a little bracelet noise. Now let's take it out to the front and out to the side, and then switch. So we're kind of lubricating the spine a little bit with this little soft twist of the spine. Keep breathing. And then bring it back here to the front. Maybe take it straight out to the side. Notice your range of motion. It doesn't go as high when I bring it straight up, as opposed to kind of at an angle. Go back to the angle. Very good. Okay, from here, I'm going to scoot over to one side of my chair, let my arm kind of dangle here, and I'm kind of like up and leaned over. My hand is either on my hip or on my shoulder as we do what's called stir arms. Again, it's to encourage range of motion, lessen bursitis in those shoulders. Maybe you're going a little slower. Yeah, maybe your circle or your shape is a little different than mine. That's okay. On this side, I usually have my hand at my shoulder, and I can kind of feel that kind of snappy kind of noise. I can kind of feel it too, yeah? And then let's reverse, go the other way. So we'll make it go the other way. Very good. Now my shape looks different when I go the other direction. I don't know why. It just does. And again, take breaks when you need to. Do what you can with what you got. This is too much. Do less. Do tinier circles or take a break. Just know that, okay? I know a lot of us are challenged with shoulder issues, challenges. All right, and then let's go over to the other side. So scoot over to the other. My chair's big, so I got to scoot over. And let's do the other side. Does this side feel different than the other? Now, not that you have to answer me, but I want you to make some observations about what's going on with you and the stuff that's going on with your body, yeah? Yoga and Tai Chi is great for that. Lots of increased body awareness, because a lot of folks are not aware of what's going on, okay? And then let's reverse that. Go the other way. I always think of my shapes here as turkey ovals, just because it's turkey platter ovals, because it's getting close to Thanksgiving. I'm thinking about Thanksgiving food already. Oh my gosh, okay. And then let's make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Very good. Come back to the center. Let's do that finishing breath. Again, it's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then exhale, bring, as if there was a ball here, and you're bringing that ball back down to that dantian area. Very nice. So next is Kuan Yin paints the rainbow. So I'm going to demonstrate this without the ball. Then I'm going to show that with the ball, just to give you a little bit of visualization there. But we're going to take a hand down beside our body, and the palm is facing the body. So for can't say the word, Kuan Yin, you take that thumb, turn it to the back of the room. So it's pinky towards me, pinky away. So we're going to inhale, circle, sweep an arm up. Big breath there. Exhale, woo, back behind you. Maybe some snap, crackle, pops going on there. And then inhale, gather both arms up, flip the hand, and bring the other hand down. Now we got to turn that palm away, pinky towards me, thumb to the back of the room. Here we go. Breathe in, up, 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 up. Exhale, back behind you. I got to twist a little bit more with this one. Inhale, gather them together, flip the hand. Bring the hand down. Turn the palm away, pinky towards you, towards me, thumb away. Inhaling up. Exhale, back behind you. Coordinate that with your breath. Inhale, bring it up together. Exhale, bring it down. Turn that palm away. Here we go. Breathe in, up, 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 up. Exhale, back behind you. Inhale, gather. and then flip it. Now I'm going to grab my ball just to show this a visual thing. So typically I'd have the palm towards me, but I'm going to turn that palm away, palm to the outside of the room, and then inhale, circle, sweep arm up. Exhale, back behind me. Inhale, gather, flip it, and I flip the ball basically, and bring it down. So it's palm towards me, turn the palm away, other side. Inhale, circle, sweep arm up. Exhale, back behind me. Inhale, gather, flip it one more time. Turn that palm away. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, back behind. Inhale, gather, flip the hand down. Last time, palm away towards the side of the room. Inhale, up, up, up. Exhale. So again, range of motion, isolation. Flip it and down. Let's do that finishing breath. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up, and bring down the chi. Actually, let's bring down fists. We're going to do eagle claw next. So inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. This is for increased mobility. Inhale, back to the chest. Open up the palm like a starfish. Exhale, push it forward. Inhale, back to your chest. Kind of squeeze that armpit here. And then exhale, out to the side. Now we open and close 5 times here. It's an eagle claw right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waist. Other side. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Reach, reach, reach. Do what you can. Inhale, back to your chest. Once it's there, open up the palm. Exhale, push it forward. Inhale, back to your chest. Squeeze that armpit. Exhale, out to the side. Open, close. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waist again. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Reach, reach, reach. Beautiful. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up that palm. Exhale, push it forward. Inhale, back to your chest. Exhale, out to the side. Open and close. Last time, this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waist. Last time, other side. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up that hand. Exhale, push it forward. Inhale, back to your chest. Exhale, out to the side. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waist. And let's do that. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then bring the palms down, palms up. We're going to do swallow flies to the nest next. So we're going to introduce that early today. So our palms are up, resting in our lap. And I have my knees a little bit wide. And I'm sitting away from the back of the chair. So I engage those tall posture muscles here. From here, I'm going to take a hand out to the side. And then I'm going to inhale, bring it across. Exhale, out to the side. And I'm kind of leaning onto that one side of my body. Inhale, up and over. And then exhale, it lands back out here in front of us. And then bring it back to the center. Now we're going to do the other side. Inhale, bring it across. Exhale, out to the side. Inhaling up and over. And exhale, out in front here. Oh, my chair squeaks. Other side. Inhale, bring it across. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale, up and over. And exhale. Other side. Inhale, bring it across. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale, up and over. And exhale. Now I'm going to say that little nursery rhyme that goes with this. So, swallow flies east, bring it across. Swallow flies west, bring it out to the side. Swallow flies up and over, and then lands in its nest. Other side. Swallow flies east, doesn't know directions. Swallow flies west. Swallow flies up and over, and lands in its nest. Let's do one more. Inhale, swallow flies east. Swallow flies west. Inhale, up and over, swallow flies up and over, and then lands in its nest. Last one. Inhaling, bring it across. Swallow flies east. Swallow flies west. Swallow flies up and over, and lands in its nest. Come back to the center and inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Beautiful. This next one, we're going to do a little bit of knee strengthening, but you know what? Let's do a little something for the knees first. Let's kind of clap those hands, and like you're making meatballs or rolling cookie dough, kind of ignite the fire in between the hands, the heat, and then move it into the fingers for increased circulation. I love it. And let's bring that heat onto our kneecaps softly. Just kind of do a little circle movement here. And then reverse. And then come up on the pads of your fingers to stimulate those acupressure areas, acupressure points in our knees. And then we'll tap our gallbladder meridian, which also is helpful for lessening knee pain. So we tap, tap, tap the sides of our knees. I think that's good for getting us prepared for the knee strength there. So scoot back in your chair. Okay, so from here, what we'll do is lift a leg up, show me the bottom of your foot. And I always have to lift my leg off the chair because it feels kind of stuck in my chair. And then we lower the leg, but we hover. We don't touch it on the floor. And then we point the toes and release. If you need to have a hand underneath to guide, please know that's available. So let's do the other one. So we're going to flex the foot. Again, I lift the leg up a little bit. Toes towards you. Might be spicy, but not for long. And again, hover, and then point the toes, woo, and release. Now we're going to add on a little brain work here. So we're going to do the same thing. Here we go. Other side, flex that foot, flex the opposite hand. So again, using both sides of the brain, the upper and lower body. So I love this for dementia prevention. And release it down, and then point the toe, point the fingers. Excellent, and release. Other side. Here we go. Flex that foot. Flex that opposite hand. Woo! Lower. And then point the toes, point the fingers. Excellent. And lower. Now this one's like a no-brainer because we do both hands. So flex the foot, flex both hands. So we don't have to think about it. It just kind of happens, yeah? And then lower. And then point the toe, point the hands. Maybe up and down with the hands a little flying through the air. And really a little core challenge there too. Flex the other foot. Flex the hands. I love it. And then lower. And here we go. Point the toe. Point those fingers. Hands up and down a little bit. Little core challenge. Just a little bit. And release. Beautiful. I'm going to scoot forward on the chair a little bit more towards the front of the chair. We're going to do some foot rotation here. Also some additional point and flex. So what I'd like to do, there's two ways you can do this. You can have your hands back behind your knee pit and lay and kind of like roll back a little bit, but some folks what they like to do is interlace the fingers, if it's available, here on the shin, and then lean back. You do you, but if you have it here on the shin, you're going to feel your shin muscle working. So we're going to point and flex while we're here. I'm going to bring it a little bit more towards my kneecap than way down on my shin. Again, it can be in the back of the leg. So when you isolate that ankle, it's good for helping you walk better, by the way. So yeah, oftentimes we ignore the feet. And I'm not going to let you be ignorant of the feet, okay? Now let that foot rest. Now we're going to take that foot and draw it inward, in towards the center. So you're trying to do that ankle rotation. Not the whole leg, okay? Just the ankle if you can. Sometimes it's mission impossible though. It's like, oh, I got to do the whole leg. This strengthens the knees, surrounding tissues, what we were doing before. This also helps improve ankle flexibility and reverse. And again, that pointing and flexing, second heart, blood flow to the heart, prevents foot cramps also. Beautiful. And release that down. Other side. Decide what you're going to do. Back behind the knee pit or up here, shin, interlace the fingers. And then again, whoop, my foot just did a snap, crackle, pop. Point and flex. Oop, I just released a burp to the universe. Air happens, folks. Just know that, okay? You can ignore it or you can acknowledge it. It's okay either way. All right, and then you're going to look at your foot and you're going to turn your circle inward. Ooh. Notice what you notice. Does this feel a little different than the other one? Okay, and reverse. There it went. It went snap, crackle, pop on that one. Love it. And release it. So part of what we do in Veterans Yoga Project, we do that breathing, we do that mindful movement, We do meditation, and then in Tai Chi, we kind of move with the breath, breathe with the moving. That's kind of a meditative movement sequence. We do that guided rest, relaxation, and that gratitude practice. So in our classes that we teach, we follow the 5 tools. So from here, let's do the blood pressure equalizer technique. So if you have high blood pressure or low blood pressure, this addresses the heart meridian, and we're also going to be taking our thumbs across our palms and then fingers grabbing those thumbs. So again, that stimulates different places, acupressure points in the heart meridian. So to begin with, what we do, we inhale, circle, sweep arms up, and we take the back of the hands, bring them down the heart center. So there's your little heart, the little heart shape. I know, it's kind of cute. And then you grab your thumbs, fingers and the thumbs, and you inhale, elbows back, chest forward. Now here's a really important part. You release the hands and you turn the hands outward, so that stimulates that heart meridian going on the inside of the arm. And then from here, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring it down the heart center as you exhale. Once you get about chest level, start grabbing those thumbs, and then inhale, elbows back, chest forward. Exhale, turn the hands out to the side. You're kind of concave in the chest there. And again, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, helps balance the blood pressure. Grab those thumbs, inhale, elbows back, chest forward, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Exhale, out to the side. One more time, here we go. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Big old breath. Exhale, bring it down the heart center. Grab those thumbs. Here we go, elbows back, chest forward. Exhale, out to the side. Let's do that finishing breath. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And bring down that energy from the heavens back down to your cauldron, your dantian. Beautiful. Okay, from here, we're going to do a little bit of foot patterns now. So we're going to bring a foot forward, out to the side, forward to the chair. Other side, forward, out to the side, forward to the chair. Again, forward. Use your hands if you need to bring it out and in, or your own muscular strength. You're going to notice if one side is more spicy than the other. Now this time we're going to add 3 to it. Forward, out to the side, draw it in 3 times. 3. Use a hand if you need to. 2. And 1. Way out, forward to your chair. Other side, forward, way out. Bring it in. 3, 2, 1. Way out, bring it forward to your chair. We're going to do 5 this time. Bring it forward, way out to the side, draw it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, oh my gosh, 1. Way out, forward to the chair. Other side, here we go. Forward, way out, bring it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Way out, forward to the chair. Excellent. Now, next is going to be jitterbug. So we kind of bring the ankles, the inside of the feet together, and we're going to go side to side with our feet. You can hang onto your chair as you do this, or maybe make fist and twist the upper body. Sometimes I don't know if it's twisting the opposite direction. I just know it's twisting. And you may notice, ooh, one ankle seems to be a little bit more stronger than the other, or not. I got this metal chair, and I got these slick pants on today, so I'm like, woo, really going side to side today. One more, out to the side, and then join me to the center. Okay, so you may have noticed something going on with your strength of your ankles. But what we're going to do now is heels out, toes in. Mine don't quite look the same because, you know, of my stuff. And we're going to independently walk them out. This is where you may notice the differences. I would wear steel-toe shoes in my previous career. They kind of cramped up my toes a bit. I kind of noticed that. And again, of course, now women, you know, they tend to wear high heels, and maybe guys and gals would wear cowboy boots with the lifted heels. So sometimes that what you wore earlier in your lifetime kind of boogers up your feet, you know? One more, all the way out. Whew. And all the way in. Very good. So that's for ankle mobility. Also increases brain work here. Let's just kind of draw a circle in and then the other. So what I'm doing here is I'm shifting my weight from one bun to the other. This is called parry. Y'all may know it as wax on, wax off. My husband washed my pickup yesterday and said, okay, time to put the wax on. There you go. So I put the wax on and he took the wax off. So that was good. I didn't have to do both. That was sweet of him to go get that washed. And then I had to go out. Fortunately, it's getting a little bit cooler now here in Texas. Right now it's 78 degrees though. It's like, ah. And I know y'all are enjoying cooler temperatures, yeah? Now let's pause and then wipe it out. Sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of get in this movement pattern. I think of this one as wipe my kitchen table, or put the indust on the cloth and wipe off that coffee table. Now we're going to bring it more like you're going to do your windows. So wipe it out. Again, you're going to do it a little bit slower if you're having some challenges here with those shoulders, with those arms. And then we're going to wipe it in. Again, it takes a couple of times. If you want to do a little bit more vigor, a little bit more into the lungs, you make fist and bring the elbows across a little bit, a little elbow dig while you do your parry. And for me, since I have scoliosis, this kind of really feels good. Kind of lubricates my spine, makes it feel a little bit better. Very good. And then keep it, let's bring it back on top. And make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. You might notice a little sensation going on here. So what we're going to do next is called Tai Chi ball. You're going to bring your elbows out and bring your hands on your chest and basically bring your arms out in front of you. So let me show this sideways. So it's, it's not close to the chest, it's out here a little bit. What you're trying to do is line up the fingers with one another. And your elbows are lower than your hands. Try to relax those shoulders. Now we're going to inhale, expand your ball, and exhale, draw it back in. Again, breathe in, open up your ball. Exhale, bring it back in. Again, breathe in, open up your ball. Exhale, bring it back in. Now keep it here. So sometimes if I have like a solid surface sitting in front of me, like right now I have the carpet and the computer, so I can't really tell. But if I were to bring my hands in front of the wall, I might actually see little lines going in between my fingers in that empty space. So that's like an energy flow. It kind of goes in this circular movement here. And then let's just take those hands and point the fingers down and away from the body. So you may feel a little warmth, a little pressure at the fingertips when we do this. Again, just think about this as like you're releasing toxins from your fingertips. It's just kind of going into the earth, okay? Very good. Excellent. Bring your hands back to heart center. Clap your hands. Rub some heat. We're going to do the big 6 lymphatic drainage next. So we're going to take your hand, spread out your hand, and go across your collarbone from the shoulder to the sternum. This is area number 1, part of the big 6 places for increasing lymphatic fluid flow. We got lots of blood in our body, but we have more lymph fluid in our bodies than we do blood. Of course, the blood gets pumped, switch sides, by the heart, and the only way you get movement through your lymphatic fluids in your body is through movement. So the little shaking thing we did earlier, the wild goose flutter, and then some of the other body movements we'll be doing helps with that. So again, I talked about cerebral spinal fluid flow where we breathe into the low belly. One of the things, you got to have clear pathways for that stuff to kind of go out through your body system. So let's take our hands and bring it in front and back of our ear and stroke down the jawline and then down the side of the neck. And make sure you're getting here at the back of the head because there's lots of lymph node nests hanging out there too. So when you go to the doctor and you're sick, they can go poking around, right? Your neck, your throat area to see if you have any swollen lymph glands or lymph nodes, yeah? Sometimes they check your armpits. Sometimes they check in their groin. Again, those are areas where lymph hang out. Let's do the other side, in front and back of the ear. So why is that important? So every night we sleep at night, we supposedly go into REM sleep, and that's where, you know, we have buildup of waste that happens in our brain, in our bodies, and that's the only mechanism for getting it out of our brains is through that REM sleep or through that lower belly breathing, targeted lower belly breathing. Let's go to the next area, area number 3, the armpits. So you can just take a hand at a right angle and press into the armpit, just press in. You got your thumb here at your pectoral. You can also kind of rub, you can tap, tap, tap. You can do a little fist, just soft movement here. So again, men and women that get breast cancer, this is the area they're going to check. Did the cancer move to these lymph node nests? Let's clear out the waste. Do this daily if you can. You may notice excessive sinus drainage. You may notice a headache. Maybe you've got some stuck stuff going on, yeah? All right, let's do the other side. So again, kind of press into that area, kind of find it there. You should have a pit, not a puff, by the way. I was always jealous of the boys in the 2nd and 3rd grade. They could like take their arms and make that little sound. Well, this is my rendition of that, okay? Now, I had heart surgery here 2.5 years ago, and they went in through my ribs. So I will also pat where those surgery scars are, just to, again, increase lymphatic flow through those areas. Area number 4. Now, I like to kind of poof my chest forward, my belly forward. I find my ribs, and then I stroke across the bottom of the ribs. That's where your diaphragm is. Sometimes we can feel like we're kind of stuck or in our breathing. So I just like to give my diaphragm a little massage. Notice if it's tender or not. And then the gut is considered to be your second brain in your body. So let's get a little movement going on there. And speaking of movement, if you want things to go better, then you go from the top over to the left and make that circle. So that will help guide better bathroom experiences. I'm just going to put that out there, okay? You can do chopping, you can do fists, you can do wiggle jiggle, you can do up and down. You know, you can do what you need here, huh? Okay, now we're going to bring our legs out wide. So where that leg inserts into the torso, we've got this little crease going on here. It's called the abdominal crease. And I take the sides of my hands and I gently chop, and we call this in Tai Chi the Qua. Maybe I'll extend one leg out a little bit so I can really get into that. So ovarian, uterine, prostate cancer, these are the areas they check. Okay, cancer moving into those areas after, you know, they do what they do. Very good, and bring the feet in. So the last area, area number 6, again, look up big 6 for more info, is the back of the knees. If you tend to have swelling in the ankles and the feet, you work the back of the knees first. But actually you do 1 through 6 to make whatever footwork you're doing more efficient. So I do the bottoms of the hamstrings, the tops of the calves, and the back of the knees. Also sometimes we'll chop a little bit. But sometimes there's Baker's cysts back there, so you're going to be a little bit more sweet, a little bit more tender, more kind, okay? Very good. Come back to sitting up tall, clap the hands. Let's do a little bit of upper body energy releasing here. So we're going to tap, tap, tap on the outside of the arm. Bring it up to the shoulder. The shoulder is my favorite place. And then palm up, bring it down the inside. Lots of meridians that we're addressing here. Again, palm down, tap, tap, tap on the outside. Get to that shoulder, bring it down. And again, here we go. That shoulder, the inside. Then from here, just kind of swipe off all that kind of excessive energy you might be feeling. Other side. So here we go. We're going to clap the hands again. And then tap, tap, tap. Get into that shoulder. Turn that palm up. Bring it down. Again. Here we go. Tap, tap, tap. Get into that shoulder. Bring it down. Again, one more time. And bring it down. All right, from here, we're going to take those middle fingers and thump our thymus. That's about 2 inches below that collarbone. That's to increase T cell production. So that's important in this time of, change of the seasons. Got my necklace there, and move that out of the way. Very good. Okay. Thump your thymus. Increase your immunity. Beautiful. You do this for about a minute. We won't do that for a minute today, but all right. And then from here, let's just kind of shake the arms. We're going to do shaking gong next. And then you know what? Lift the heels too. Or march the feet. And then I'm going to just lift my heels as I bring my arms upward. Shake, shake, shake. Turn to the side. Over to the other side. Back again. And then I'm going to bring it to about letter T shape with the palms up. Flap those wrists. Shake, shake, shake. Heels up and down. Very good. From here, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Just have your palms resting face up. Notice the kind of buzzing you might be feeling in your body, that little energy, a spark that's going on. Beautiful. So we're going to do what's called a healing meditation here. You can close your eyes. You can be wherever you're going to be. And we'll do some more stuff after that. But I invite you to imagine there's a hole here at the top of the head. Imagine the sun opening up and bathing yourself with that healing sunlight all the way from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes. So it's feel that healing energy inside and out from head to toe in every bone, every organ, muscle, and joint, all the blood vessels, the nerves, every layer of the skin. If you need a little extra in an area, maybe you can like focus some additional brightness and some additional sunlight to that area. And just imagine your body fully healed, whole, new again. Breathe in that feeling. And again, let's take the arms out to the side, point the fingers down, out to the side. Just kind of feel the heaviness of the fingertips, maybe the palms. Imagine toxins flowing out through the fingers, through the fingertips. So you might feel the release, a physical release, an emotional release. And then let's do that finishing breath. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then exhale. And just kind of shake it out a little bit. You might want to get a sip of water. We're going to be doing that guided rest and relaxation. Some of the hand tapping energy sequences after that. So I'm going to get a little sip of water. And again, shake it out a little bit if you need to. Again, there's my squeaky chair. All right. Once you got that little sip of water, get resettled back into your chair. So kind of scoot back in your chair. If you need to go on the couch or on the floor, again, this is your guided rest and relaxation portion. So this is similar to a yoga nidra. In other words, you know, I take you through this little guided journey through relaxation. And all you have to do is listen to my voice. So get comfortable. Maybe you need to move around a little bit. Maybe you need to walk around. Maybe you don't like to be still, and that's okay too, okay? But maybe chin can go a little bit in towards your chest, and maybe eyes gazing down at the floor. You don't have to close your eyes. But if you wish to, you can. You can softly close them if that's comfortable for you today. And together, let's just take a slow inhale breath and a slow exhale breath. From here, I'm going to start at the tips of the toes and work ourselves up through the different places in the body, this non-stress, deep rest, relaxation. So, when I say a place in your body, I want you to imagine that place, say it in your brain, and focus all your attention, all your awareness to that area that I'm mentioning. You don't actually have to have your eyes looking at that area. It's just kind of inside your mind, right? So from here, I want you to notice the tips of your toes. Notice the big toes on both the left and the right hand side. Bring your attention to the bottoms of the feet. And you'll say bottoms of the feet, that type of thing, and then imagine that, okay? Then let's bring our attention now to the tops of the feet, both on that left and right hand side. Now let's shift your attention to your shins. And then those knee joints. Notice those knee joints. Let's notice the back of the legs, the calves. We did those nice calf pumps earlier. Notice that left and right hand side. And then shift that to the back of the legs where you're sitting here on the chair or the couch. And let's notice the front of the legs, both on that left and right hand side, the quadriceps. Let's shift our attention now to our hip joints. Notice how they feel at this moment. Notice what you notice or don't notice. And then from our hip joints, let's shift to the pelvic floor. Noticing the low belly, the low back, both at the same time. And then let's notice the right behind and then the left behind. Wherever you are sitting on the chair, notice that sensation of support. Maybe your behind is also pressed into the back end of the chair. Again, notice that sensation of pressure there. From here, let's shift our attention to our navel center. And then let's kind of correspond that to the back place of our body. It's called the Yin Yang in Tai Chi, but it's the low mid back. Then from our navel center, let's shift our attention to our heart center at the bottoms of our shoulder blades and the back side of the body. Notice what you notice. Shifting your attention to your left shoulder blade, your right shoulder blade at the same time. That right upper arm, the right lower arm, the right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, then pinky finger. Then let's shift all that over to the upper side of the left arm, the lower left arm, and then that left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, left pinky finger. And then from both sets of fingers, both on that left and that right hand side, let's shift our attention to our collarbone. There at the base of the throat and the back side, the base of the back of the neck. Shift the attention now to the jawline, the chin, the lower lip, the upper lip. Notice that right nostril, the left nostril, the right eye, the left eye, the forehead, and the very crown of your head. Once again, let's invite that sunshine to come in through the crown of the head, saturate every cell in that body, all the way from the top of the head down to the tips of the toes. Good. From here, let's take a couple of breaths together. So what I'll do with this breaths that we do, we'll inhale to a count of 4, we'll pause, we'll exhale to a count of 5. And I will clap my hands to do the count. So again, do what you can do with what you got. So let's begin together. Let's breathe in. And then slowly breathe out. Again, let's breathe in. And then slowly out. One more time, breathing in, belly big. Slowly out. Good. Now I invite you to come back into the now, into the present moment. So maybe wiggle those hands, kind of lift those feet up and down, heels up and down. Scoot forward on your chair. You'll be standing actually if you like. And then let's do some shoulder, upper body circles. I think my chair's going to squeak on that one. And then let's reverse that, go the other way. Just bring in a little bit of motion back into the body. And then we'll do a seated cat-cow. So come back to the center. We're going to curve our spine to the back of the room, getting that flexion and extension of the spine. And then come up to tall seated posture, which is mountain pose. And then we hinge forward for the cow. Let's do that again. Go back to tall seated mountain, nice tall aligned spine, and then curve the spine to the back of the room for that seated cat. Woo, feel like my muscles are peeling away from my spine there. Come back up to tall posture, which can be spicy sometimes. Be slow. And then hinge forward. And then come back to tall seated mountain. Now we're going to do what's called a supported twist. We're going to take both hands over to the outside of one leg. And so we're kind of twisted already. So we're going to take that shoulder and twist it towards, gently, towards that opposite knee. And you hinge forward while you do this. Again, it's supposed to be away from ouch though, okay? And then come back on up, back to the center. Take the hands over to the other outside of the leg. Hinge forward a little bit first, and then twist into it. Some folks really, really like this. And then come back to the center. So next is our hand tapping, or energy releasing. So we're going to tap the sides of the pinkies. That's for headache, for releasing vertigo. And you do this, we just do a sampler today, but you do this for about a minute, each one every day if you can, okay? The next one is for easing nausea, digestive disorders. So we go into the web of the hand and tap into that web. My bracelets are going to make a sound here. Again, for digestive disorders, nausea. Now we flip it because, you know, we got to do the other side too. Ooh, that feels strange. It might make your brain go, create new neural pathways there. The next is the inner tapping of the fingers. That's for pain and numbness in the limbs. Now, if you got rings, be careful here. You may make a bunch of jangling noises here. So you normally interlace your fingers a certain standard way. You may not know that you do that, but you do. Just take my word for it. And then you're going to bring them together. You're going to wiggle that top finger and then bring the other one to be on top. It should feel a little strange because this is not your normal, okay? Maybe it's your Abby normal. Tap, tap, tap. Again, what is that for? Pain and numbness in the limbs. The next one is heart cardiovascular issues. So we're going to go here at our pulse points, and you can tap like this, or you can kind of do it up and down. I like the up and down because then we get to do this twice as long. The pericardium meridian, the heart meridian, and then flip it. The sound effects are optional. Okay, so before we kind of cup the hands and we swung the arms, we're going to cup the hands again and then tap on the back of the wrist. Let me see what that's for. That's for osteoarthritis and back pain. So tap, tap, tap. Now if you've got a ring, you maybe curve it a little bit so you don't have that ring tapping on the top part of your hand. Some people put their hand on their leg and then tap, but when I do that, I get to be like doing it too strong, but that's just me. Makes a nice little sound. Let's do the other side, cup. We still have our gratitude practice we need to do. And maybe a neck stretch. I think we need to do a neck stretch. Now when we move it to the back of the wrist, I gotta move my bracelets here. Back of the wrist, that's for neck and shoulder pain. So again, cup the hand, tap, 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 back of the wrist. Well, let me see. Is that, yeah, okay. And then do the other one. I got my watch there, but I'm gonna be close to it as best I can. And here comes my favorite. Make a fist, punch your palm. Noticing your strength. This is for stress, anxiety, improves your clarity, your consciousness. Let's do the other one, okay? Notice if one's more strong than the other, okay? All right, now I'm going to take my glasses off for this next one. This one's for insomnia or jet lag technique. It's doing this 3 times. So you bring your fingers on your earlobes and pull them down. So you know it's lots of reflexology points reflected in your ears and your feet and your hands. And then you go to the middles and pull them out. Notice if you can hear better when you pull the middles out. And then pull up. There we go. This would have been beneficial with the time change, that's for sure. And again, pull down in the earlobes. Oof. And then do the middles, pull them out. My hands are sweaty. And then pull them up. Oh my gosh. And one more time. Here we go. Pull them down. Pull them out to the side. And then pull them up. All right. And then here, take your pads of your hands, fingers, tap your brain, improve brain flow, blood flow, clarity, consciousness. Be sure to get the sides of the head too, and then that back part. Kind of go down the mohawk, yeah, and the side hawk, and the back. Good. All right. So what we'll do next is our gratitude practice. So I invite you, you can have the hands together or stack the hands and bring them here at our heart center. And you know what, I just invite you, just because you showed up today, just drop your chin towards your chest, and gratitude is just showing up. Yeah? And we're also thinking about one or two things that we're grateful for today, grabbing it, clasping it, place it into your heart space. And I appreciate y'all showing up, your dedication, your determination, your discipline, and your responsibility for signing up for a class, for showing up for a class, maybe getting the recording afterwards, looking at it. So that says a lot about you and your journey for self-healing. So thank you for showing up. I really appreciate y'all participating, watching, doing whatever, you know, you're doing here. Yeah? All right. And then that was our little gratitude practice. So what we do to end a Tai Chi class, we end it as we began it. So we're going to do that right fist, that's the sun. And that open left palm, that's the moon. And we bow down to one another in respect. This concludes our practice of chair Tai Chi. Let me stop the recording. So I have to come over.